Welcome back. So let's try and start using the image cropper that I decided to kind of use when I create an image right here. When I choose an image, I want to be able to kind of again manipulate the image before I actually upload it. So let's try and jump into the tool that I'm going to, or the module I'm going to use for that, which is going to be this image cropper that is available on NPM. But how do we do it? How do we actually install it? Well, let's scroll down and see if there's a guide. And here's actually how we install the actual image cropper module inside my system. So let's just start by running this npm install. Let's just fire that command. There we go, we'll install this now. So the installation is complete. We have the image crop available. So step 2 will be to kind of use the module. And since I'm inside and using inside my products module, that's where I want to work with this right now. I'm going to go into the products module and I'm going to add this image cropper right here. There we go. So now we have the image cropper available inside this module. And now we just pretty much need to start using it. And there's a lot of things going on, so I'm going to try and split it up into a few different parts. But first of all, if you look at the HTML for this image cropper, the first thing you need is some kind of file, right? A file chooser. Now that we already have, but we don't want to, like in our current system, if you look at our current file chooser right here, it's in here. This guy is the file chooser, right? The one that we just said could only accept images. That's our file chooser. And whenever we click a change, again, notice the change event right here. When we change, we actually go in and upload the file by pretty much just setting the actual file that we want to upload. But that's not what they're doing. If you check out their change right here, if I scroll down to the file change event, what they're actually doing is they're just saving the entire event inside the TypeScript file to use later. So let's just change our code a little bit right there. I'll just keep the same name right here, image change event. Jumping back to my code, I'll just add that property up here, image change event. And I want that image change event whenever I call the change, like in my HTML, whenever I call this change and hit the upload file, instead of actually getting the actual file, I'm going to instead say this dot image change event equal the actual event that was just triggered. I don't want to go in and get the files and stuff like that. I just want to get the actual event that was triggered. I'm just going to keep this here for now. We'll change it later, but this will actually go away soon. But I'll just keep it here for now because I don't want to break my entire setup. But I can just add a comment right here so you can see it. Going away soon. Bye bye. Okay, there we go. So now that we have this part set up, instead of actually getting the file right away, we have an event available now that we can use to trigger the image cropper. So going back to my code right here, or their example, you'll see that the image cropper needs an image change event right here. And that's kind of how the image cropper knows that I just changed the file, it gets an event, and then it can show that file inside the cropper. Let me try and show you. So let's get the image cropper. This guy, we're going to add that to our HTML now. So I'll just go outside the form and add something called the image cropper. There it is. Now this is only available if you add the module, so you have to remember to put your module in here, or else you won't actually see that image cropper popping up right there. So now I have the image cropper. Now what I want to do is, first of all, if I look at the code again, you notice I need this image change event to kind of trigger that I just choose a file, right? I just chose a file, so I want that one to trigger, so let me just add that in here. Now this guy will of course point, so whenever I click the change file right here, whenever I select a new file, it'll hit this event, and it'll set this guy, Angular will know, and it'll go back and tell this guy, the image cropper, that the file was just changed, or the image event was just triggered. So that was part 1. Let's try and go back and see if there's other things. This is the format, this is the cropped image. Let's just try and keep this and see what actually happens now, if there's something to see. So I'll go and choose the file, I'll pick my dir right here, and I'll choose it, and notice, there we go. That was all I had to do. Now with that single event, I now actually have the image cropper down here, and I can start cropping the image, right? So I can choose, I only want to see this part right here of my dir. And there's no ratio, there is a ratio to kind of say you're not allowed to just put in any, you cannot deskew the image, you have to kind of pick like this ratio right now for the image, right? So even though when I go here, you'll notice that the ratio is actually changed. Again, a lot of work if you had to do this manually, but that's actually done for you. So again, that was how easy it actually is to pick and to choose. Notice again, when I select another picture, you'll get it right away. It'll go and select that picture. Even if I go and select those screenshots, I can actually go and again decide what I want to show in my screenshot, stuff like that. So the image cropper is now working. we just added the very minimum part of it, just adding the actual image event, saying when I change, I want to show the image in the cropper so I can start working with it, but we didn't do anything else yet. So we didn't show the cropped image, we didn't manipulate the cropped image yet, we just show that the image cropper is working, and we actually also start showing the actual images down here when you've chosen them. So that's it for this lesson. See you next time, have fun.